All right, welcome everybody. We are recording live. It is a Wednesday before the holidays. I know that some people have celebrated other religious holidays prior to today's date, so I want to recognize that as well. But finishing out the year strong, 2020 is coming to a bookend close, and we are going to jump in with full strength into 2021. You are here with a community of real estate investors and business owners, and we are about taking things to the next level. It's going to be 2020 wonderful. That's my hashtag for next year. 2020 wonderful is just making it as great as we can. There's going to be a ton of real estate that's coming our way down the pipeline. So, keep your eyes peeled and start learning and digging into the content so that you can really start taking action in 2021. There's going to be a lot of inventory, at least this is my personal opinion, hearing from other people around the country. And I'm ramping up as much as I can. I know a lot of my colleagues are really, getting geared up, getting their private money lenders going, getting their skills sharpened and honed and ready to really take massive action. So I want to welcome all of you from around the country. We might have some people from around the world as well. We are an inclusive national, international community, and we want to welcome you with open arms to tonight. And we're going to dive into some really key concepts that for me really started to change my approach. Just in a quick synopsis, so you know who I am. My name is Skylar Jess. I'm out of Denver, Colorado. I used to be a restaurateur, ceramicist, made handmade ceramics, and then I was also a massage therapist. And thought there got to be some other better way of making money using my mind to leverage different currencies. And so I started looking at real estate. Found this community about 4.5 years ago. And I went from being someone that didn't know absolutely anything about real estate to now I've done over 20 transactions. I just went under contract on a deal this past week that our team is going to probably net between 60 to 80 grand on this deal. It's a wholesale deal out in Kansas City. So I feel really blessed for all of the support and learning that I've been able to have here in this community. So wherever you're coming in at, whether you're brand new like I was or you're more seasoned, we've got a flavor for everybody. It's like stepping into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory here. It's just a fun place. We like to have a blast and also learn and share and collaborate. We're about results and proof. So we want to welcome you. And today's main trainer, he's out of Tennessee, and this guy has been tearing up for the past decade. He didn't come from a bunch of money either. He actually was working 2 mechanics jobs and just broke, living in his girlfriend's mom's basement. Also was like, man, there's got to be some other way. I'm just tired of having goop splashed in my eyes and hot stuff and burns. And so he started getting into real estate, did his first short sale transaction and never looked back since. And he's made multiple millions of dollars. And he's not just somebody that's created wealth, but he's also somebody that has really transformed his entire life and hundreds of other people. He's someone you really want to pay attention to. He's working on a multi-million-dollar development project out in Tennessee right now. Actually, he's going to be doing some really cool tree houses and glamping, and I was talking with Haida earlier about that, and so he's tearing it up with 250 acres out there. So many cool ideas that he has infusing into that land: bamboo forests, permaculture. He's on short sales, wholesales, fix and flips. He's just a rock star. You want to learn from him, so I'd like to bring out our trainer for tonight, Mr. Michael Huggins. Come on out.
Awesome. Thank you, Skylar. Welcome, everybody. And by the way, I pay Skylar to say that. So thank you for that. No, what's up, everyone? Welcome. Glad you're all here. There's a few folks I need to introduce you to before we get going so that we can break off into our own rooms that we're supposed to be in. If you're in the room with me right now, understand you are in the right room. But as you continue to progress with us, there's going to be some rooms that open up for you. And so I need to introduce you to some of these people who are making a difference in our community. And so let me just bring them all out here. Cool. So we got Diana and Richie and Bill and Martin when he shows up. All right. So folks, real quick, let's just go around. On my screen, it's Richie, Diana, Bill, and we'll end with Martin. Tell the folks what is going to happen in your Zoom room tonight and a little bit about your quick background of who you are and where you came from.
Hey guys, my name is Richie out in Pearl City, Hawaii, and I am actually running an essentials mastermind today, every Thursday around this time, and this is really just the foundational portions of real estate, really, and some of the other personal finance and business entity setup strategies that we do. And today we're going to actually talk about finding deals. So it's part of one of our basic classes, and we're just going to have a great time, just making that happen. So for me, being out in Hawaii, being a part of this amazing system since 2015. I've been able to take down 17 deals. We're working on 2 more before year end right now. So it's super exciting because we're on the tail end. And what's really cool is that every single one of my deals is zero money out of pocket, 100% infinite investments as we go, all profitable. Of everything that I've learned from what you're going to hear from Michael today. So thank you all for being on, and hopefully I'll be able to see you guys in my mastermind. So
Cool. Rock and roll. Thanks, Richie. Appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, let's go to Diana. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Good night. Bonsoir. All 3 languages. Hi, everyone. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I started investing in real estate roughly 3 years ago, almost, and have not turned back since. I've learned so much. I sat in this room just like you did. I went to college, flunked out, and didn't have a way to retire. And now I see a light and a path that's going to take me there. So tonight, if it's going to be your second time here, you can follow me to my room, and we will go over questions that you might have had from last week. We're going to go over how you find money for real estate deals and how to find money for other stuff. So that's what I'll be covering tonight. And I look forward to those that are here for the first time. You're going to stay with Michael, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for showing up early, staying late, and helping new folks get oriented. So we'll look forward to that next week. And now let's transition to Bill. Bill P, coming out from Phoenix, Scottsdale area. What are you working on tonight?
Hey, brother. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody, for being here. This is exciting. And so I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona. And, I'm going to work with some folks. We're all going to chit chat about what I call the AIT bonus. And what that means is in investor training on some of the classes or some of the topics and subjects that a lot of people don't consider necessary. When I started, I had a real estate license and I was a loan officer, and it got me nowhere. And when it came to investing, and when I've found this opportunity with Renatus, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of almost 150 deals, and it's all due to the opportunity and the experience that we're having on this meeting tonight. So, as a result of that, I'm going to be able to work with some people tonight on. We talk about private money, investor ID. We talk about understanding mortgages, understanding bankruptcy, understanding partnerships, and just some of the outlying classes or outlying topics that just are not covered anywhere else in the country. Fix and flip and wholesaling and multifamily. There's only a few ways to teach that, but the support around those classes, I think, is what enabled me to be so successful.
Did you think that, and thank you for being succinct with that, did you think that fast forward to today that you would be saying that you've already done 150 deals when you first got started?
Isn't it great? No, you know what? I was 38 years old, Michael. I was as broke as a joke. I bought 2 houses that within the crash of 07 in Phoenix, I was upside down nearly 400 grand. I was 100 grand in credit card debt in someone else's name. And I just hoped that I did one deal, that I could make $20,000 to even get anywhere. And fortunately, I've been able to do what I've been able to do in a decade, and it's been awesome.
150 deals, and in dollar amounts, what was your highest profit month? How much?
My wife and I just experienced a 30-day period of over 450,000 in net profit, and and that was 5 transactions I sold in about 45 days.
Wow, $500,000 in 30 days, just about. Going from Broke a decade ago to now you get to do whatever, whenever, with whoever, as much as you want. And now you're giving back, helping new people. So I appreciate you taking time, man.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it's for, man. Thank you for your time. Thanks for being here. Everybody have a great night, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Cool. We'll see you in the other room. All right. And last but certainly not least, our buddy out in Florida. What's up, Mr. Martin Potter, talking about short-term rentals and cash flowing unique properties. How are you tonight?
Hello, I'm wonderful. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Glad you're here. Tell folks a little bit about your background and what you're covering tonight.
Awesome. Well, I got started about 5 years ago. I was delivering pizza actually before I started doing this. And I just got tired of coming home with pizza stank in my car and all over my clothes and needed to, figure it out. And I decided to get into real estate, and I pursued being an agent at first and realized it was a lot of sales and really nothing else, no way to create long-term wealth. So I found myself looking at real estate investing and buying property and holding property. And fast forward 5 years, and now I am hosting the short-term rental mastermind. I've got a couple of short-term rentals. I've done about a dozen deals, a whole bunch of different things: fix and flip, wholesale, rental, an assisted living facility, all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of fun. Real estate investing is much better than having a job, at least for me. And I'm really happy and grateful to be able to be doing it full time. So I will see those of you who are supposed to be in the short-term rental mastermind in just a few minutes.
Okay. We will see you over there. Appreciate your contribution and
Thank you.
the wild travels we've had so far and more to come. Excited to see you again.
Absolutely.
All right. Have fun tonight. All right, folks. Now you're hanging out with me the rest of the night. We have some goodies, some treats. I got some jokes. And if you're nice to me, I'll tell you those jokes. Just kidding. That was also a joke. I'm going to have two main intentions tonight. First one is that I'm going to have a lot of fun, because why do anything if you're not going to have fun? So you're invited to have some fun with me. The second thing is that we're all going to leave this webinar a little bit smarter than when you joined. That means you're going to have to pay attention, because we're going to go kind of fast. Some of the stuff that I wish we could cover in greater detail, we just don't have time for tonight. There are some future events coming up in January. And then, of course, throughout the year, we have some big stuff going on as you get to learn who we are and how we operate. So if you do decide to engage with us as you move forward, there will be other people. You will leave this room and you will go into the other Zoom rooms and get the support that you're looking for with the real estate goals that you have, because everybody's a little bit different. So one mastermind doesn't fit everybody, right? If you want commercial space, you should not probably be in the wholesale group. But if you want short-term rentals, you're probably not doing the fix and flips or multifamily. Well, maybe you are. There's a combination, but we want to focus and not get distracted. There's so many real estate opportunities out there. So let's switch to the PowerPoint now. And I also made some drawings for you tonight. So these are custom. I hope you enjoy them. All right. Now, before I proceed, just as common practice should require, I want to make sure that we are all able to hear me. So if I could get a thumbs up or a yes, that everyone can hear me, do a quick sound check. I see lots of thumbs. You can type in the chat as well. If you can hear me, make sure we're good. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Well, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this party started. You should probably know by now, if you haven't, welcome to America. There are no guarantees of success. We're going to work our butts off. The people who I just introduced you to, they worked hard to get where they're at, to have the portfolios and the lifestyle and the freedom that they currently are experiencing. It took some serious work. So there's no guarantees here. Just like with college or jobs, there's no guarantees. But there is a huge potential, a huge opportunity, and a very high probability if you keep hanging out with us, you're going to do real estate. So some people are wondering, who is this for? Let's get into that. This is definitely for people who want to get their time back, people who don't want to fight traffic, and people who want to buy nice things and enjoy the good side of life, right? Having nice things is important if you're working hard. It's not the only important thing, but if we're going to work hard, we might as well have some nice things. This is also for people who are all about relationships. They're into support. They're into receiving support and giving support, and they're looking for friendships more than just outside of a partnership or doing a deal, but to actually be a part of a community. This is also for people who are into technology, that like using automated systems and like using back office step-by-step processes that we have, along with that human interaction, to create results for people. This is also for folks who like to be heard, who like to be a part of the conversation, who like to cheer people on, who also like to be recognized and rewarded for their accomplishments. In fact, we just did our national conference a few months ago, and we gave away hundreds and hundreds of awards for the people who are kicking butt in our community. And lastly, this is for people who have a knack for running things, building teams, driving success for all kinds of foundations, churches, companies. If you know how to rally people up and point them in the right direction, and you're a team leader, then you're also going to see some very lucrative reasons to want to work with us. Our organization is called Renatus. We've been around for 10 years. We've been a part of the Better Business Bureau A+ rating that entire time. We've also just received for the third year in a row, Best in State for Education, as well as the Inc. 5000. We've been in that for several years as well. We got an amazing track record. I'm an independent contracted marketer with Renatus. So Renatus grows through word of mouth through marketers, independent contracted marketers. That's me. I hated my job so much, and I was having so much fun inside of the Renatus community doing real estate deals that I thought I'd spread the word and get more people involved. So if you're looking for a side hustle that will also allow you to help learn real estate while you're earning some money, talk to us about that in a different Zoom room in a different time, and we'll show you how that whole thing works. We're going to get into some numbers tonight. And there's some tax stuff, some banking stuff, some retirement stuff. None of this counts as, specific legal counsel. You're all going to go get your own professionals. Every real estate investor that I work with has their own attorney and their own CPA. If people try to do deals with me and they don't have a CPA or an attorney and both, then they're not professional enough for me to want to work with them. And that's a red flag. So all of you out in Zoom land right now, always use competent legal advice. Don't just print documents off the internet and hope that's good enough. You should always run through an attorney and a CPA to see what your tax consequences are also. And tonight's presentation is Intellectual Property of Renatus. So if you need a copy, let us know and we'll hook you up. All right, now for my drawings. So check this out. I wanted to help people understand where my day one was, because I didn't always have a tie. In fact, I didn't always have a laptop. I didn't always have nice things. I didn't have a fridge full of food and bank accounts with money and a car in my driveway. When I got introduced to this community, I was riding a bike. I was drowning in student loan debt and my fridge was empty and my pockets were empty. I hated it. I was pursuing a dream. I got trapped in the student loan mess. Then I got sold this idea of I got to have some jobs. So I went and got 2 of them. And then at the end of the year, when they finally tally everything up and they see how much they confiscated from you, it was pissing me off, to say the least. Most people who have a job work from basically the beginning of January to the end of April just to pay the tax bill. It is too much in taxes. 40%, sometimes 50% of our wealth is confiscated. Too many people think that saying tax and keeping it one syllable is easy to digest, but when you look at it for what it is, it's the confiscation of your wealth. We need to do something about it. So as I moved out of the basement, I was in girlfriend's mom's basement, riding a bike, trying to get these jobs, trying to pay this debt. And I finally learned I could get a mortgage. And so I jumped out of the basement into a mortgage, not understanding all the other financial traps that I was in. So things were stacked against me. I was broke, confused, lost, frustrated, in debt, out of time, tired, hungry, sore. But I had one advantage. I had one thing that is available for everybody, but a lot of them don't use it, and that is an open mind. Some people have shoved it in a backpack in a closet somewhere and they haven't touched it in years. To your open mind. If you want to have the life of your dreams, it requires an open mind. So because I had an open mind and I was showing up to workshops and classes and I was listening to conversations and real estate investors were having, I'd never even met a real estate investor in my life. I had grown up the oldest of 4 with a single mom, and we always just moved from apartment to apartment, and we were always just renting. I didn't know real estate investing was a thing. So I had to have a very open mind. And my first year, I did a deal. It made me more money than my job paid me. So I quit. The next month I did another deal, quit the second job. The next month did another deal, started paying some debts off. It feels great to pay off debt. I paid off my student loan. I wrote him a check for 45 grand. That was amazing. That was twice as much money as I ever made at jobs in a whole year. And I'm writing checks for it, paying things off. It took a lot of work. And the person who I was and the person who you are causing the financial mess you're in right now cannot be the same person that gets you out. The thinking that got you in the mess is not the thinking that will get you out. I had to make a change. Jim Rohn said, if you will change, everything will change for you. And what we're talking about is changing our mindset. If we change our mindset, we can change our results. So because I changed who I was being, my financial results changed. Now I got my 2 dream cars outside. Most people go for 1. I got 2, but it came from work. I got inspiration. I followed a plan. I've had over 10,000 conversations with people on the topic of real estate investing and entrepreneurship. And what I found is that there are 4 major keys to the wealth puzzle. We call these the 4 pillars of wealth. And they are taxes and banking to help you keep your wealth, and business and real estate to help you build your wealth. If you skip the foundation, what kind of building are you going to build? A wobbly one. We'll blow it over in the wind. We need that foundation, taxes and banking. How is it that some people are paying 5, 10, 15% in tax legitimately, where by default, some people are paying 35, 45, 50% in tax? That's a foundation. Then when we get into banking, which I'll show you at the end, how we started to flip the banking game on its side so that we started winning in the banking world, as the consumer, as the user of the bank, not the owner of the bank, how to win. And so when those 2 things are in place and you're no longer living a life by default, then your business and your real estate can take off. But if you still got default taxes and banking and you try to build a real estate business, good luck. It'll stay default. We need design thinking. So to design our life, this is what the conversation is about tonight. And there's obviously way more beyond tonight's conversation because life doesn't change in one evening. The direction of your life can change in one evening, but it's a compound effect that we're after here. And that's why taxes and banking are important. If you don't pay attention to your taxes, it has a compound effect on you. If you're constantly losing 30% a year, that compound effect over a 20, 30-year period is going to leave you way behind. Even though you might have earned a lot of money, it's working against you. Same thing with our banking. So most people by default pay about 30 to 40% in taxes, and they pay 30 to 40% in interest in their whole life. And then the other 30, 40% is what they try to live off of. Well, instead of that default life, what if we got business, we got taxes and banking down to about 10% of our cost, leaving 80 to 90% of our life to design? This is the transition. It's going to take some time. Everybody's in a different place. I realize some people is brand new on the call and other people already have real estate experience. I get that. So as we go throughout tonight, what I'm going to do is at the end, my gift to you, I will have several, but one of them is going to include my best-selling book. You can go onto Amazon and buy it. It's $20, or you can stay to the end, get the gold nuggets throughout today's workshop, and then I will give you that book and you can start reading it tonight in a PDF format. Okay, so why are you here? Like I said, there's already some experienced people looking to upgrade. Fantastic. If you already have 1 storage unit and you want 5 more, we got you. How about, and when I say 1 storage unit, I meant 1 storage unit facility, not 1. That would be funny to have just 1 unit. No, I'm talking about a whole facility. Okay. Maybe you are the kind of person who has wanted to be involved in real estate, but all it's ever transpired is just you watching shows about it, but never actually executing. But you've thought about it and you go, you know what? I'm done thinking about it. I'm ready to do something. Or if you're like me and you're like, damn it, I just need more money. I don't know what real estate is, but it seems like it can make some legitimate money. I'm in. I don't have much time. That's why I'm doing it. That was me back then. Never even considered it, but I needed more money. But now I meet people inside our organization who have done thousands of deals. So the switch from employee to business owner, from self-employed to business owner, and then being a business owner and a real estate investor, that's the name of the game. Employees and self-employed people are stuck in the same position. Why? Why are employees and self-employed folks in the same financial position? Because if they stop working, the money stops. If they stop working, the money stops. That's a recipe for disaster. You cannot retire. You can never take a break. As a business owner, and what kind of business do we own? We own real estate investments as our business. This is a win-win, baby. So we're going from the contractor to the CEO. A lot of you might have contracting experience, but you don't necessarily have a lot of CEO experience. So we're going to show you and formalize this training to show you how to use a CEO mindset to run your life, to run your business, so that your business doesn't run you and you get the free time. You can step away for 3-6 months at a time. Business still flourishes, payroll still runs, your bank account still goes up, customers are still happy. That's the kind of business that we're all working on and envisioning. And a lot of people that I work with now have that. They work 3 days a week, 6 hours a day, and that's it. If you don't have a call scheduled with them, good luck next week. Some people get to design their life, where other people have to bounce around 60, 70 hours a week just to get a couple bucks. Some of you, the gap between employee and business owner is enormous, like me. And some of you, you can actually see the other side, but you still need a bridge. This is where we can come in. We want to focus on the right-hand side. That's where the strong side is. So the 5 currencies when it comes to the wealthy mindset. Now we're bridging this gap here, okay? The 5 currencies from someone who has a wealthy mindset are time, knowledge, relationships, credit, and money. Now, the poor mindset, the financially strapped mindset, the broke mindset, puts money at the top. All they think about is money. Money and bills and bills and money and money and money and money and debt and money and money and debt and debt and money. And that's all that occupies their mind. Well, wealthy folks think about time, knowledge, and relationships, and time, knowledge, and relationships, and relationships, and time, and knowledge. So one might argue that the more you obsess over money, the less you have. One might also argue that the more you obsess over time, the more you have, which leads to having more money. You see where I'm going with this? Now it's a challenge making that jump. I remember I showed up with 2 jobs. I was selling 70 hours a week. I was sleeping about 40. Most people usually sleep around 55 or 60. And so I was working twice as much as I was awake, and I was playing for 0 of it because I was riding my bike there or riding my bike home. I was obsessing over money and not honoring time. Therefore, time and money were hard to grasp. But if you honor time, you make time a priority, and you work off of a schedule, a calendar, and you are accountable for the time you spend, then naturally, the people you spend time with, your relationships, and your money are going to go up. But if you neglect one area, you'll neglect the other. So which one's more valuable, time or money? Time. Would everyone agree time? El tiempo. Time is more important than money. Okay. So my question to you then, for my live audience, the recording audience, you're just going to have to answer it to yourself. My question to you is, what is it called when someone does one thing but says another, when they act one way but say something else? What is that called? Sorry, it's not a yes or no. You can't answer with a nod. Okay, so I got ignorance, hypocrite, contradiction, incongruence. That's what she said. Okay. Yeah. Now, when people are being a hypocrite or contradicting themselves or they're incongruent with their time, are they fun to be around? Are they a joy? Do you, when the hypocrite calls you on the phone, are you like, oh, hold on, everybody, I need to take this? Or are you like, psh, damn hypocrite? Well, here's the challenge now. If we all just agreed that time is more important than money, but if we stay employees, we are the hypocrite. We are perpetuating a contradiction because now you're acting like money's more important, even though you believe time is more important. So you're acting one way and believing another. Dang it. This is where the pain comes in. See, the friction causes pain, and you only get friction if there's if something's not smooth, if there's something that's not rubbing you right. Well, in this case, down in your core, you know you have a limited amount of time on this planet. You have a limited amount of time to work on this planet. And if you sell that time for money, well, it just hurts. And so this is why employee dissatisfaction is the highest it's ever been on record. And people have no free time. Depression's at an all-time high because people are doing what they don't want to do for money they know is not important, to buy things that they don't need to impress people they don't care about. So we got to fix it. We got to clean up the contradiction. If we clean up the contradictions, things start to smooth out. Pain goes away. Can I tell you guys a joke now? Is this a good time for a little comedic relief? Yes? Okay. All right. So a pirate walks into the bar and the bartender says, "Hey man, what's up? Welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you. And what happened to your leg, man?" And the pirate says, "Well, we were out at sea and this other pirate ship came by and we got into a fight and one shot a cannonball right at me and I couldn't get out of the way in time and took my leg. But I got this peg leg and things are going by just fine." He says, "Wow, that's crazy, man. But what happened to your hand? You have a hook now? What happened to your hand?" And the pirate said, "Well, another fight. I was in the sword fight, man. And the guy was just a little too fast and got me. But they gave me this hook to get by. And so I don't really miss the hand that much. In fact, I think I like the hook better than the hand." Bartender says, "Man, that's crazy. Life of a pirate, huh? But still, that doesn't explain your eye patch. What happened to your eye?" And the pirate says, "Well, I was looking up at the sky and some bird poop fell in my eye." And the bartender says, "Bird poop? How do you lose your eye to bird poop?" He said, "No, that was the first day I had my hook on." Okay, now some of you are going to get that on the way to the fridge tonight. It's all good. Okay. Now, why is this joke relevant right now? I'm trying to make sure everything is relevant. Okay. The idea behind this is, well, the point, if I should use a pun, the point behind all this is any area that we're unaware of is going to lead to pain. So if we're unaware that we've created a contradiction in our heart and in our mind, there's now a contradiction, it's going to lead to pain. Any area of unawareness is going to lead to pain. So if you're unaware that you're creating a contradiction in your relationships at home, that's going to end up in pain. If you're unaware that you're creating a contradiction inside of your body, that's also going to end up in pain. And same thing with finances. So no matter what you're looking at, if you clean up the contradictions, pleasure is going to come from it. But if you don't, it's just going to be pain after pain after pain. And then people end up, diving into things like social media for 6 hours a day, or alcohol, or video games for 10 hours a day. They start to turn to other things, antidepressants, or other ways of sedating. All because they are not cleaning up the contradiction. If you clean it up, what is there to escape from? Why would you want to sedate? So this is what we're saying. Clean it up. And this is what we're here to help with, cleaning up the contradiction around your money. Now, in fact, as you spend more time with us, you're going to be involved in some relationship classes. We have this whole drive series to teach you how to communicate better, listen to other people's emotions, share yours, and create a win-win around that. Most people think we just do real estate, but that's not a whole wealth world. Real estate's part of it. But if you don't have any relationships or anyone to share your money with, what good is your wealth? And then the same thing around your body. We have 2 courses around how to use your body to create more power, to create more clarity inside your mind, and how to get more out of your body so you can get more out of life. And that's taught by the bodybuilder of the decade, 7-time Mr. Natural Olympia, Mr. Natural Universe. He's an amazing man, Mr. Ron Williams. So we're bringing this whole well-rounded approach to wealth. It's not just money. And some of you are surprised because you think that wealth is just money. I used to think that way too. Health is a real wealth. Healthy relationships, healthy body, and a healthy bank account. Got to have all 3. All right, so let's keep moving forward. We also need to clean up this idea around living off of a nest egg. If you go look at the numbers, I could spend 8 hours just on this, but for just a few seconds. If you go look at the numbers over the last 50 years, when people started being sold this idea of the 401k and getting off of pensions, and that people are going to be in charge of their own retirement accounts back in the late 70s, early 80s, we've now had 2 generations go through this, and both generations, the majority of them were flat ass broke. They became either dependent upon family, friends, church, or government, or they were still working. That's bad. When you have 40 years of a plan for people to run, and they come out and they still need a job at 65, they still need a job at 70, or now they're on government assistance. This is no bueno. This is the plan they were sold. Build up a big 401k or an IRA, and when you get older, you can live off of it till it shrinks and disappears. But what if it never grew? Most people at 65 have a $10,000 retirement account, the average. Now, obviously, there's people with hundreds of millions and some people with zero, but the average is around 10,000. And about 10,000 people a day are turning 65. We have a big mess on our hands. That's one reason why Martin is getting into assisted living facilities. He sees this big wave and people need a safer, cleaner place to live. And we're solving a problem and making money at the same time. But instead of trying to build up a nest egg and live off of it, what if we just became chicken farmers? Instead of selling 40 hours a week for an egg and then eating that egg and then having nothing at the end of that week, what if we started buying chickens? Little upfront cost, right? A chicken costs a little bit more than an egg. There's a little bit of food involved. Okay, so that's the property taxes. You got to have a little bit of a cage. All right, so that's our insurance and our maintenance. But now the chicken will start to pay for itself with what it produces. It's the same thing with our rental properties, with our fix and flips, with our short-term rentals, our long-term rentals, with our notes, with our land development deals, with our eco-tourist opportunities, with our note creation, with our tax liens and deeds, whatever it is that we're doing, that's the chicken. And if we take care of it correctly, it will then make little baby chickens. And 1 turns into 3, turns into 10. This is how we get out of the rat race. It doesn't matter how old you are. There's no need to wait till 65. So one pretty cool deal I'd just like to share with you real quick for the people who think it takes a lot of money or experience or credit. We did this deal for $200 out of pocket, and me and my friend at the time had about 500 credit scores. I was still working on my credit. Obviously, he was still. But what I'm trying to share with you is that if you have the eyes to see the deal and the knowledge to fix the problem, you can create any deal in any financial situation you're in. I just moved to a new city a couple of weeks ago. Actually, now it's been 2 months. And I'm building up my own portfolio, and I just got dropped into a brand new city. So when you have this knowledge, the eyes to see the problem and the knowledge to fix whatever the problem is, you can make money in any kind of real estate in any market. Now, obviously, doing these kinds of deals takes, usually it takes more money. Usually we do these for about $5,000, maybe $10,000, but this one we got for $200, so I thought I'd show you real quick. But keep this in mind, because when I get to the end of the next training, deals like this are going to be very important to remember, okay? So just keep this in mind. And I'm not the only one having awesome deals. This is Nate. He's now in his 100th deal. I just interviewed him, in fact. And he made this post. He says, 2 months ago, my tenants in this house stopped paying rent, and it took 6 weeks in a court hearing to evict them. While in Haiti, I negotiated a seller finance contract, and this dude travels nonstop. I negotiated a seller finance contract in which I will become the bank on the deal and never have to fuss with tenants again. When we close in 5 days, my buyer will make $110,000 down payment, allowing me to recoup all I've invested in the property, along with an immediate $35,000 in net profit. Even more exciting, in my passive role as the bank, I'll make another $61,000 in interest payments over the next several years without doing anything. I love my career. Now, Nate, when I met him, he has a PhD. He was a professor at a college, and just the year before I met him, he was living off of food stamps. He was also riding a bike to try to save money. He had a car, but he was riding a bike to save money. Academic education does not make you rich. I have several people in my team that have PhDs that still look to other people that have no academic education for help making money. So if you continue down that route of, maybe I should go get a master's degree and go spend 30 or 50 grand. I know Facebook is sending you those ads. Right? I know how Facebook ads work. They're sending you those ads and you're sitting there thinking, I need to make some money. Those ads show up. Should I go get my MBA? Should I go finish my degree? Count the cost. Not only is it tens of thousands of dollars, but it's also still perpetuating the contradiction. You're still going to come out working for someone else, the contractor, not the CEO. Over here, Sal, he's 20 years old. He's the CEO of his real estate deals, his real estate empire that he's building. It's not an age thing. It's a mindset thing. We're doing these all over the country. Here's some over in Seattle, Washington area. These are down in the Phoenix area, all over the place, LA, all over the place, Florida, Colorado. In fact, we have 65 pockets of teams all around the country. And then, of course, we have this whole net that encompasses everything called the internet, where we got 1,000 people connected that way. So now let's think about how to solve a problem. I just talked to you about how important it is to solve problems. Let's look at a problem and see if we can solve it. Here's the deal. Purchase 250, rehab 50, holding 10, closing 25. Total all-in cost 335, ARV is 380. We have a potential $45,000 profit that we're going to go after. 3 approaches. The first approach, not my favorite, mostly because I've often been accused of being the laziest, hardworking person they know. Meaning, if I can do something and not have to work, but figure out another way to work hard at it, I'm going to do it. I do not want to move in. I'm lazy. But I'll work hard at making sure the numbers work out well. We do not want to move in just to save a couple grand. I know some people go, man, I could just do the tile work myself, save a couple thousand. Oh, I could do the landscaping myself, save some money. I could. Well, if you do that, you are no longer the CEO. You have fallen into the trap of being the contractor. We want to stay CEO status. Now, not to say we're too good that we can't do it. No, it's just our time is better spent structuring the next transaction, lining up the funds to buy the next one. So when those guys and gals are done working, we can put them on the next job, put them on the next job, put them on the next job. Leverage is the key here. So moving in, no, thank you. The second type of person, these are the people who think, hey, well, I can Google hard money. I can get it for zero out of pocket. Look, they just gave me the money to purchase it and to rehab it. Okay, be careful. Because one thing about hard money lenders is it's a short amount of time and a high interest rate. You got 6 months. If you don't give the money back in 6 months, they are going to confiscate the house. Any capital improvements, all your sweat equity, anything else, they're going to confiscate it and take it from you. Now, if you're doing a deal like this, you got 100% financing, things are funded, you go to sell the house, and for some reason you didn't run your numbers correctly. You thought you were going to sell it for 280 and now you're going to sell it for 380 and now your ARV is 280. How would you solve this problem? Is there a way to solve this problem without having to come out of pocket any money and without losing your reputation as a professional? So I'll tell you a story real quick. One reason why I don't paint, I was helping my grandpa. I was like 14, 15 years old. We're rehabbing a fourplex for somebody. We're painting. I don't want to paint, but I need some damn money. So it's the summer. I go work for my grandpa. I get a bucket of paint and I start painting. And I didn't know that there was this thing called paint yourself into a corner, but I did that. Door was on one side. That's where I started. That's where I entered the room, and I painted myself into a corner, and I had to wait for it to dry or risk ruining the paint that I had just painted. True story. Now, that applies to here because the person who sets the deal up like this basically painted themselves into a corner also. They don't have many alternatives. They either have to redo some work or ruin something. This is one of my mentors put it to me this way. Sometimes the best deal you do is the one you say no to. Just because you can get it for no money out of pocket doesn't mean you should. So instead of painting ourselves into a corner, let's look at the third option and then see if we can come up with some ideas. So instead of taking all hard money for 300,000, we're going to do hard money at 200,000 and bring on an equity partner for the other 100,000. Now, if we had more time, we talk about where to find them. We actually have a whole day on how to bring equity partners into your deals, how to structure them, how to do the right paperwork. That is not what tonight's about. Stay tuned for more. Now, so here's the deal. We're going to sell the equity partner 50% of our company. We're going to say you can have half of what the LLC is going to produce. Looks like, by our best guess, we're going to sell it for 380 and we're 335 in. So the value of the company is 45. You can have half of that for your buying of 100 grand. So if we use your money all year long, you could potentially get a 67% return on your money. Well, now we go to do the deal and that 380 is now a 280. With a debt equity blend LLC, how can we solve this problem, finish the deal, not lose anybody's money, not have to come out of pocket any of our money, and maintain a reputation? What's possible? There's definitely a solution on the board. Doody doo doo doody doo doody doo 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 bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. All right, folks, what's the answer? Oh. Okay. Maybe people are still typing really long answers. It's not a long answer. So let me ask you this. Let's get some gears turning. How much, if we were to pull a title report on this property, how much would it say we owe? Okay, Randy says add more rooms. Well, we've already used our rehab budget, Randy. I like how you're thinking though. Hey, if we add more rooms, maybe the ARV will go up, but we have no more monies. So if I were to go pull a title report, how much money do I owe on this property? What we owe is 200,000. Is everyone with me? Okay. Now that I pointed that out, any ideas come up? Okay, so Sarah says the cash out refi. Dan says rent. Lindsay says sell. Okay, so first, if we go put a renter in it, well, when is that 200,000 due? That's due in 6 months. So if we put a renter in it, we'll maybe collect 1 or 2 months, and then we still have to pay that 200 grand back. And then the equity partner is going to be really mad if we go into foreclosure. Lindsay says sell it. Well, Lindsay, if I sell it right now for the 280, because that's what it's worth, then I will only be giving back 80 to my equity partner. I will be losing them money. And so I don't want to do that either. So Sarah says do a cash out refi. Miguel says a refinance. So if I were to go to a traditional bank instead of a hard money lender, and I said, hey, bank, I have a house. It's worth 280. Will you give me 200,000 for it? What would they most likely say? The value's here, and the loan I need is right here. The bank is in the business of lending money. So if I were to go get Wells Fargo money or Bank of America money, whatever kind of money, and pay off my hard money lender, now instead of 6 months, I have 30 years. But we're not done with the deal yet because we still have our equity partner. So inside the LLC agreement, before we even kick this thing off, they're going to read that we have a backup plan. And we got a backup plan to the backup plan. But the backup plan says, if we need to, because of ARV values, if we need to refinance into long-term money, we are going to create this as a rental property. We already know what it can rent for, and we know what our payment will be if we need to refinance. So there's plenty of cash flow. It will pay for property manager, maintenance, insurance, all those other things. And we will split the cash flow 50-50. It comes with extra tax write-offs. So we will also split the write-offs 50-50 and the cost segregation. We'll split all that 50-50. And when the value comes back up, we will sell it and we will split that for 50-50. So all along the way, this person still had insurance, collateralization for their money, and they were still making cash flow. So when we show people that the backup plan, hey, in case it doesn't go well, you're going to make money this way instead of making money this way. What's the backup plan for your 401k? What's the backup plan for your stocks, your mutual funds? Most people, it's just bye-bye, there goes a decade. Bye-bye, there goes 5 years of my earnings. Bye, overnight, there goes a year of gain in one day. It's too risky. Let's get into real estate. So if you are the transactional engineer in this deal and you put $0 in, yet you got half of the cash flow, the write-offs, and the value when you sell it, you have an infinite rate of return. And the key is using systems. Now, our 4 pillars of wealth is what teaches you to think like a system person. It'll show you only the math that matters. Some of you are like, oh, I'm not good at math. Well, knock it off. Yes, you are. You're good at the math that matters. We don't need geometry and calculus, none of that stuff. We need math. We need addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Simple calculator. That's the kind of math we're talking about. That's it. And just what's relevant. We're not going to teach you how to do taxes. That's why you get a CPA. We're going to teach you what tax strategies you need to employ as a business owner so your CPA can do their job. I'll give you one example. How many people here have children? Who's got kids? Who's got kids? Okay. So how many of you, if you would have known this ahead of time, right now, you can put your kids on payroll for $12,000 per child. Now, some of you are like, well, I don't want to give my kid $12,000. No, you don't have to. But you need to have them involved in your business so your CPA can write $12,000 off for you, move it over to them, pay for their expenses, and document everything correctly. Now, some of you are going, wait a minute. My CPA never told me that. Yep. Not all CPAs are created equally. So you need to learn how the tax game works. How does the CEO of a real estate corporation do their taxes, do their banking, run a business, and then conduct the real estate? So most Centa Deca millionaires do it with business. Now, there's a big portion of it that comes into real estate, but after a while, it's not just the value of their house. They have a business. That dark blue is the business. So when you combine forces with what we're doing, we got the business and we got real estate. When we do the business of real estate, chances of your net worth going way up is very likely. So here are the top 10 reasons why businesses fail, according to the National Association of Small Businesses. No market need, ran out of cash, not the right team. Well, if you're into real estate, there's always a need for real estate. So we're good there. If you run numbers and you have backup plans to your backup plans, chances of you running out of cash go down. And if you have the right team of CPAs and attorneys, you falling victim to this, where almost a quarter of businesses fail because of that, you can sidestep that landmine as well. So even though businesses go out, a lot of them go out because they're not acting like professionals. And so you got to learn the hard way sometimes. On the tax side of W-2, here's what happens. The income comes in, we get taxed on the income, we spend what's left over. But on the business world, when the income comes in, we spend, and then we get taxed on what's left over. Now, wait a minute. You're going to tax me on what I earn, over here, or you're going to tax me on what I don't spend over here. So you could still effectively have the same lifestyle, right? Still a $70,000 lifestyle, but if you convert it to your business, and this is why we say real estate, because your Wi-Fi becomes a write-off, the mileage on your car, your cell phone bill, your laptop, your internet bill, food, all kinds of extra things. Guess what? I get to write this tie off because I only wear it for work presentations. I get to write off my clothes. I get to write off all kinds of stuff. I just bought a drone. I need to inspect properties on the roof. So I get to write off all kinds of stuff that I was already going to spend money on. But now it gets to lower my AGI, so it lowers my tax bill. In fact, quick story on this. At a Thanksgiving dinner a couple of years ago, back in the world where you could meet, I went over to my wife's family's side of Thanksgiving dinner, and I remember talking to her Uncle Brad, and we were talking about income and taxes. Now, he's a civil engineer. He makes $140,000 a year. So he's paying about $40,000 to $45,000 in taxes. We're talking to Aunt Sue's, right? Her husband is Uncle Brad. So Aunt Sue's, she works a job 40 hours a week, full time, and she makes $35,000 to $40,000 a year at her job. So without them thinking about it, I said, well, wait a minute, Brad and Sue's. So basically what you're telling me is Sue's works all year to pay Brad's tax bill? And they thought, what? We never thought about it like that, but holy crap, he's right. And so when I then proposed, well, Brad, why don't you get into real estate with us? You have such a high income. If you convert some of this stuff into write-offs and we get involved in real estate, how much money could you save? 1 year goes by. They start implementing these ideas and these strategies. He gets involved with what we're doing. And Brad saves so much on taxes that Aunt Sue's could quit her job. So this idea about wealth creation isn't hurry, 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 make money. It's be smart about all the areas that are affecting you right now. So needless to say, who do you think is their favorite nephew now? This guy. So share what you learn with the people around you. Make a difference for people. When we focus on certain things, that's what our life becomes. Some people focus, even though they may make a lot of money, what they're focusing on is very inefficient. So they're going to focus on debt, taxes, liabilities, and fixed income. We have this fork in the road. What are you going to focus on? If I haven't said it already, I'm going to say it now and emphasize it. It's not the amount of money you make. It's what you do with it. Uncle Brad, 140 a year, but he was low with his efficiency because he was focusing on debt, taxes, liabilities, and fixed income. I now meet some people who are making 60, 70,000 a year, but they make it with no debt. They make it with very little taxes. Income comes in from assets, so they're never clocking in or out anywhere. And they have new sources of income that they add on as time goes on. So even though they might make less dollars, they are free. They're out of the rat race. They get to spend time with their kids. They get to spend time on their inventions or the book they're writing, whatever it is. So more than the amount of money you make is what you focus on. So we're going to show you how to stay focused on a real estate business, how to formalize it, refine it, and turn it into a full-time thing. Cash flow quadrant, again, being the business owner and the investor and being the business owner of an investing business is the key here. That's where we start to stack the benefits. So our Renatus organization, like I told you at the beginning, it's an award-winning training company. We have the best training, in my opinion, when you stack us up against anybody. One thing that's a huge difference is practitioner instructors and a lifetime membership. As soon as you enroll, we're never going to ask you for money again. Now it's time to get to work. Let's go do some deals. And our company will never ask you for a percentage of your deals. Your deals, your profit is 100% yours. We're here to train you. We're here to link arms with you and support you. And maybe you'll find partnerships along the way. But as far as the company is concerned, your money is your money. We just, like I said earlier, got the winner of Best of State for Education. We have now actually got it for 3 years in a row, as well as our trade publications and our workbooks. Our workbooks are getting awards. So we're also in the Inc. 5000 is one of the fastest growing companies in the country, and we are in every state. And one of the keys is practitioner instructors, a staff of 32 instructors. Now, practitioner means they've been there, they've done that. They built a bridge there and back, and now they have some lessons. Things that took them decades to learn, they teach us in days. Chris Wilson, for example, has done hundreds of deals. In fact, he's just reported that he's now made almost $500 million. That's almost $500 million. Thousands of deals. Chris Albin, same thing. He's now he's done over 300 deals. The most he's ever come out of pocket for a deal, $7,000. He specializes in creative acquisition. So he's going to show you how to buy houses with words. Brian Sump, short sales. That guy's done hundreds and hundreds of short sales for the last 14 years. Ben and Heather Echeverria, these folks have done over 800, actually they stopped counting after 800 fix and flips. They've probably now done over 1,000. Practitioner instructors, these are people who make their own wealth doing their own real estate. But when they get to Renatus and they want to teach here, they teach because they want to honor the industry, not because we pay them. We literally pay them pennies. They don't get paid hardly anything to be an instructor because that's not why they're here. They're not here for the money. They're here to support a community. Eric Counts, incredible guy when it comes to credit and building business credit. Garrett Gunderson, he's been a New York Times bestselling author. The guy's a self-made man. It's incredible what he's done the last 20 years. Gary Cannon has been doing real estate longer than I've been alive. He's been Realtor of the Year a couple of times, but he specializes in raw land development. Well, the land deal that I'm working on now, I'm actually standing on it right now, 265 acres. And I met with a potential partner earlier today because of his guidance. I binge watched his class. You know, people are out there binge watching Netflix, not improving their life. I'm binge watching classes from millionaires and decamillionaires. And with Chris Wilson, we got a centimillionaire on the team now. I binge watched his class, wrote down all my notes. So when I went into my negotiation earlier today, man, if I had to watch that class, I would have walked in and probably made an enemy. But because I took his training, took the format, and it wasn't the first time. I'd actually taken his class a few years ago, but now I had something to directly apply it to. We have something big cooking now. I'm really excited about this. The way we bought the land and how we're now going to be subdividing it. I'm really excited about it. But we got all kinds of real estate instructors and different categories. We got CPA tax attorney Mark Kohler talking about how to combine your accounting with your legal. Seller finance notes, private money. Kendall Stock has raised over $14 million on a napkin presentation. Now he's going to show you how to do the napkin presentation, but he's been doing it for 14 years and raised $14 million doing it. So he has a proven track record. Johnny Dessauer has been doing multifamily for 20 years. He owns over 3,000 units. So when you go to the multifamily class, you're going to take some of his classes and some of Nathan Tabor, because Nathan flips $50 to $100 million apartment buildings. He shows you how to take on a 1 to 2 year rehab project, how to split everything up based off of your units so you keep the value high, keep your financing good, and then how to sell it and make a hefty profit. That guy's been doing that for 20 years. Nicole Call has worked for over 100 judges as an attorney, and she's seen it all on the real estate side. She's seen people do the dumbest things. She's in charge of our contracts class. So she shows you how to structure your contracts. They're downloadable PDFs for you inside the workbooks. She shows you how to approach contracts with tenants versus sellers versus buyers, how to protect yourself in all the wording. Randall Cloud is going to show you velocity banking, which I'm going to show you a small part of how I paid off my student loan using this at the end of tonight's presentation. Bankruptcy attorney. One thing I told you is you got to have the eyes to see the problem, right? People are a $500 expense. The average person who files a bankruptcy did it over a $500 expense. So the people you know could be headed towards a bankruptcy. And if there's a house involved, they could pull that out of the bankruptcy and then transact that real estate separate from you. So you got to learn how bankruptcies work. Bob Snyder teaches business and negotiations. That guy's made $1 million in a year. He's made $1 million in a month. This man has made $1 million in one day. He teaches a negotiations class in business development. An amazing man. And because of his class too, my deal is going a lot better. Heidi and Kim teach cost segregation. Tony Scotti teaches contracts for deeds, which is very popular here in the state I'm in. So I'm going to be working more on that now that I'm here. Scott Saunders, 1031 exchanges. He's done over 180,000 1031 exchanges. Not 180, not 1,080, 180,000 1031 exchanges have gone through his corporation. So we got the best of the best when it comes to who you're going to learn from. And then the structure and the flow, because when you're in the class, there's nothing to buy. I've bought some boot camps before, a 3-day boot camp at a hotel. I went to it. I showed up early. I stayed late. I seriously thought I was going to be trained for 3 solid days when really it was about half the time. It was a pitch fest. There was always something more to buy inside the classes. Here at Renatus, none of that. There's no selling in classes. There's nothing to buy in the classes. It is a very safe learning environment. And when you know, it's been proven, when you know that there's nothing to buy, the learning environment goes way up. Your retention goes up, your comprehension goes up, all of that. That's why our students get such a better outcome, because they can focus on creating a career in real estate, not wondering what's the next thing they have to buy. It's a very safe and learning environment. 72 classes, 32 instructors, and growing. And so we got basically 2 sides to it. The Keep Your Wealth classes, we call the Essentials course. That's around your taxes, your banking, your business, or around your insurance, your life insurance, your car insurance, your house insurance, how to buy your own house, how to transact one strategy, one deal like a professional, do your own real estate, how to pay off debt quickly. All of that is in this financial body of knowledge called the Essentials program. And that's where you're going to learn how to keep your wealth. And then in the Build Your Wealth classes, that's where we have our vocational tracks. How many vocational tracks do you want to learn? We have multifamily, we got fix and flips, commercial. We have 11 of them. Now there's a way to get a discount too. You can make payments through us at this price, or you can use your own resources, pay for it up front, and get up to a $5,750 discount. So now our coursework is just shy of 23 grand. Now, some people realize that it only takes one deal to pay that off. Maybe some of you 2 or 3 deals, depending on the kind of deals. I just interviewed someone today. You should go check out our noon Zoom ups. I'm now on episode 53. I just interviewed him today. His name is D.V. Robertson. His first deal was a wholesale deal. He netted $64,000. Now, my first wholesale deal, I made $5,500. Other people make $2 grand. Some people make 30 grand, everywhere in between. What kind of deal do you need to do to pay it off? And the cool thing is it's now a lifetime membership. So there's nothing else to buy. Anything that gets added to the curriculum is yours at no additional charge. It's a lifetime membership. If you need funding for real estate and education, and you want to see if our banks will actually lend you the money so that you can get the cash discount, you can go to getfundedonline.com. And a lot of people are getting 0% lines through this. So watch the welcome video. The assessment is free. It takes about 10 minutes to go through it. Just watch the welcome video before you click anything, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Making sure that we can transition you from the from the left-hand side where people are losing their time over to the right-hand side where we're gaining time. Now, for those of you who are curious, and you can spend more time on the main website at Renatus, myrenatus.com. But I know this is one thing I want to drive home. Everybody in this country needs these classes, just these essentials. At least I made my mom take the essentials. My mother-in-law, she's taking the classes. Cousins, aunts and uncles, they're all taking these courses because this is finances. This is not just real estate. Anyone you know that has a bank account should take Velocity Banking. Anyone that has to pay taxes should take tax and legal. Anyone who wants to retire should take the retirement IRA class. And anyone who has a credit card or a student loan or a credit of any kind should take the credit class. Whether you want to be a real estate investor or not, that's fine. But these 5 core financial courses are going to set you off in such a trajectory. You thought you were going this way, and all of a sudden you'll be able to take off. You ever seen that before, where you change 1 degree and 3 years go by, 5 years go by, 10 years go by, and you're a totally different world? It's the same thing when it comes to golf. right? You're hundreds of yards away. You change by 1 millimeter at the beginning, you'll land in a totally different spot or you hit the hole in one. So some of you just need a 1 degree tweak, but it's going to make such a huge difference. And that 1 degree comes into your banking, your taxes, your retirement accounts, and your credit. Now, if you want to continue down that road, in the Essentials course, there's another 5 full days on real estate, on the foundations, the marketing, how to make sure people call you instead of you having to go bang on doors every day. That's what the marketing class is all about. We've got the Deal of the Decade class. This is how to basically get a home run every single week. Don't rush into anything. So you got to take your red flags class, what not to do, what to avoid. The man who wrote this class has been through 30 years of real estate, hundreds of deals. He's bought some really stupid things. He's ended up in some really bad deals, and he's going to show us how to avoid that stuff. So it's much better to learn from other people's mistakes. And then finally, creative acquisitions, how to buy houses with your words, how to structure deals and partnerships with the seller and create a win-win without having to move a whole bunch of money and do bigger deals. These are more for smaller deals. And for those of you who have a big appetite, then we have what are called our learning paths. There's the core classes, the strategy, and then the bonus inside of a learning path. So a learning path, for example, would be fix and flip. You would take the negotiations, contracts, title class. Then you would take all the fix and flip, rehabbing, all of those classes. There's 5 full days there. And when I say full days, I'm talking between 6 and 8 hours. They're broken up into 5 to 20-minute segments, each with their own name, title, chapter, and notes for each segment. But it's 5 full days there. And then you got 2 more days of your bonus classes, understanding mortgages, for example, and private hard money for this learning path. The other learning paths are buy and hold, multifamily, commercial, no tenants, toilets, or termites, wholesaling, lease options and auctions, short sales and foreclosures, wealth acceleration, business management, and retiring in real estate. So all in all, on the learning path side of things, there are over 50 more full day classes there. When you combine that with our profits course of the business class, it's 9 classes plus the essentials, that's 11. We have over 70 full day courses. There's no commercials, there's no ads, there's no upsales. It's just curriculum, coursework, practical, tactical, kick your butt into gear, take this head on. You got the audio, you got the video, you can download the slides, you can download the workbooks. There are pre-built spreadsheets, there are documents, and there's even some software that's involved to help you analyze your deals. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Now, some people think classes and books and spreadsheets are expensive. Well, one of the least corrupt men of all time throughout history, go back and look, that dude has a squeaky clean track record. He really focuses on the cost of ignorance. So take these classes because your ignorance has already cost you however much. In addition to the online coursework, we have coaching. So if you are involved in any level of the education online, you will also be granted into the group coaching. Now, our coaches have amazing track records. They've already done all kinds of real estate, multifamily, commercial, single family. They've been through it all so that when you show up to your coaching session, they can help you get a result out of it. And so the group coaching works like this. If you have your essentials coursework, you're going to come to the groups. It's weekly, every single week. We don't skip unless a holiday is on the day. We don't skip. A variety of topics, and it's online and it's streamed. The one-on-one is you schedule it when you want. It's 30 to 60 minutes, okay? And it's your own personal deals. So the group is a variety. The one-on-one is your own specific deals and transactions catered to what you are trying to accomplish. And the group coaching is unlimited. Everyone comes. It's for life. That in of itself is $24.97. A week of group coaching taught by millionaires doing this. This is just thrown into your online coursework. But we could charge separate for it, but it's thrown in. With any education. The one-on-one only comes with the combo packs that we're talking about. And it's 6 one-on-one. Now, what they've done is they've actually, since Thanksgiving, so just in this last couple of weeks, they decided to add on, if you get the Epics combo, 12 sessions. So now you're getting 12 one-on-one sessions plus your weekly group coaching, plus your software, plus your on-demand videos, which I'm really glad they're on demand because I watched mine from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I watched it on double speed. Let me say it again, 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Okay, that's when I do it. I got a baby during the day. He's screaming. We're playing. We're having fun. We're going outside. But at night, when mama and him are sleeping, what the heck am I going to do? So I put classes on and I watch them on double speed. So if you get our Epics combo, $22,991, you will get those additional 6 coaching sessions, which are valued at between $1,000 and $2,000 if you were to add them on. But now they just get to be thrown in. And that everyone gets a test drive of the education risk-free. How do you know it's good? Take a bite. You get to enroll, take a 7-day, cancel anytime within those 7 days, get your money back, no questions asked. You can go through some of the coursework. We can unlock it tonight. You can put as little as $19.97 down, $2,000. Unlock it tonight. Go through as many courses you want in 7 days and really see if this is good for you. If you don't like it after 7 days, no problem. You can get a full refund. Most people are going to go, holy crap, I would have paid $20,000 just for one class. If that's you, great, continue on. But if for some reason the education's not connecting, very rarely do I see someone do a refund because they're getting way more value out of it. But it's there, and it's there for 7 days because we want to make sure that people are comfortable moving forward with us because it's a lifetime membership. We're going to keep taking care of you. When I first joined, there were 28 classes. Now there's 72. And they re-record the classes. So it's not like they just added a bunch of new ones to old ones. There are 72 new classes. Now, our CEO is a genius. Let me just tell you real quick. He would never make a slide like this. This is all me. And to be clear, when I say all me on slides, it's my wife. I don't do slides. You'll see why. My wife is amazing. And so I asked her, sweetheart, will you make me a slide where I can tell everyone about our CEO? And she said, well, what do you want to say? I want to say he's a genius. Well, here's why he's a genius. Real estate has its own risks. If you're educated, you can cash in on the rewards that real estate has to offer. Supporting people in a real estate business, very little risk, and the reward could be just as high. I now have over $1 million worth of real estate. I took some risks to do that, but the reward there is very high. I have made several $1 million with the real estate support side of our system, which has helped me get more real estate. And I didn't take much risk to be on the support staff. So if you're looking for a way, you're a people person, you already know you want to be around real estate and around real estate investors, and you want to earn while you learn. This is why I call Bob Snyder a genius, because he's created the Renatus Wealth Cycle. So if you want to be more involved in that, come back next week. We'll talk about it, or let's have a one-on-one strategy session and we can show you more about how that works. Okay, now what we're going to end on tonight is this banking idea and how to get ahead in the banking world and stop being duped by what the banks are doing. So we're going to show you how to get rid of debt plus get 10 rentals inside of a decade. So if your seatbelt's still strapped on, let's do this. All right, hypothetical scenario here. And let's take someone on the call today. I'm going to decide that it's Sarah. Sarah, this is your situation, okay? You make $5,000 a month. Your mortgage is $1,200 on a $200,000 mortgage. Your car payment is $600 on a $12,000 car note. Your credit card payment is $600 on a $12,000 balance at 21%. And you have your lifestyle, and you put about $1,400 a month in savings. Now, if you're not putting it into a technical savings account, maybe it's a 401k, or maybe the weirdest savings account I've ever seen people do is popular, but it is weird. And that's tax refunds. Some people overpay in their taxes to then get a refund a couple months down the road. You know, once a year, they get this big refund and they say, oh, it's like a savings account. Okay, whatever. Either way, $1,400 is leaving your bank account for you to not spend. So every month, 5 in and 5 out. Now, not all debt is created equal. So we need to take a look. The right-hand side, we have our loans, which are mortgages and car loans. The interest rate is calculated on an amortized schedule. Money only goes one direction in an amortized situation. The lines are calculated on a simple interest, and money goes in and out of these accounts. So in Sarah's mortgage right now, she pays $1,200. When she sends $1,200 out to the bank, when they receive it, they're going to carve out 1,000 of those dollars and say, that's the interest you owed us. 200 is the debt you owe us. And next month, she's going to send 1,200 and they're going to carve out $999. This is the real math on this mortgage. And $201 will go towards your debt. So you are in a debt to interest ratio that doesn't become equal 1-to-1 until almost 20 years into the future. So that entire time, the bank is charging you more interest than what they're charging you in principal reduction. This is on everyone with the mortgage, not just Sarah. This is on my mortgages. This is on student loans. This is on car loans. This is on anything amortized. It's front-loaded interest. So the challenge is that most people hang out in this portion of a mortgage and they'll pay for 3, 5, 7 years and then they'll refinance, or they will sell a house and buy another one and they'll start over another 30-year mortgage. And we look at the interest ratio, it's a 4-to-1 interest to principal ratio. They call it 6% because if you go the whole 30 years, it'll be 6% year over year, a compounded 6% interest. But most people don't do that. It's up front. So if you look at the dollars, people are paying 300 or 400% interest for almost a decade. This is my grandma. This is my mom. This is everybody that's got a mortgage. So you got to be careful. You got to let them know. If we take a 4-year snapshot of Sarah's hypothetical mortgage, she's making 48 payments of $12,000. Sorry, $1,200, reducing the principal by $12,000. That means she paid $45,000 in interest to reduce it by $12,000 in principal. That's rough. So if we were to do a comparison of lines and loans, we would see loans eat away the cash flow entirely. But lines allow us to remain liquid on the principal. So lines are better than loans in this strategy, and cash is velocity and leverage is currency. So what that means is when the 5,000 comes in, we're going to use the leverage as currency. So the 5,000 goes towards the line. Well, now we no longer have to wait till the end of the month to carve out $600 as cash and pay the minimum payment. So we're freeing that up. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to redirect that savings back to the line. Now, some of you, what that means is take advantage of your tax refund now by changing your filing status. Talk to your CPA or your tax preparer about that, but you can start accessing that money now to start working for you instead of waiting for a refund date. The other thing is some of you are thinking, well, Michael, I'm building up this rainy day, this nest egg, this rainy day fund. Great, but you can actually have that rainy day fund over on the line as well. If you have it on the line, it's actually going to work for you. If you put it in the savings account at the bank, they're going to lend it out to other borrowers and make money off your money and pay you peanuts. So let's be smart about this. So if we free up this money without having to make more money or cut our lifestyle, we don't have to go on the rice and beans diet. We don't have to cancel the cable. What will happen is in 6 months, we would have this paid off. Between our income and our expenses, without changing our income and without having to adjust our lifestyle, we're playing two different things now. We're no longer living a life by default. We're creating a life by design. When you pay off your credit cards, they're going to offer you a limit increase. Only buy assets with them. Do not buy liabilities or you will be back in the rat race. So now here we are. We've paid off the credit card. Yeah, whoopee. And this is where a lot of people quit. They go, all right, I did it. I paid off my credit card and that's all. I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to freeze my accounts. I'm going to close them down. Well, that's not where we stop. We're just getting started with this. So instead of closing the card, what if we take $12,000 off of the card and put it on the mortgage and we do a principal only payment? Well, here's what will happen. Some people will focus on the wrong thing. And they'll say, Michael, well, you just charged the credit card back up 12 grand. Yeah, well, we paid off in 6 months. But look at the other side. That credit card was 21% interest, but we used it to reduce the principal on our loan by 12 grand. So it saved us 4 years and 45 grand, and it cost us 6 months and $1,200 in interest to do it this way. So it's not always the rate, it's the dollars. If you don't know the math on the dollars, this is why the banks trick people all the time. Honest, sincere, hardworking people are getting duped. This is why I say everybody should buy our Essentials program. It's $2 grand. It shows you all the financials you'll ever need. It shows you how to buy a car correctly. You know how the average American is going to buy 15 cars in their lifetime. You're going to waste more than $2 grand on a stupid car deal. You could come and learn how to do it in this. And is it on bigger decisions in cars too. So everyone needs this. Now, if we repeat this strategy, and every 6 months we do a 12,000 principal only, we don't have to make more money and we don't have to shrink our lifestyle. In a handful of years, not a handful of decades, we will have the house paid off. Now, when the house gets paid off, that $1,200 no longer goes out of the checking account, so it gets captured on the line. And we will use the line to accelerate. This is what we say cash is velocity. Now we're speeding things up. Well, let's take 12,000 off of the line, throw it at the car. Now the car payment no longer goes out. We redirect it back to the line, and now we're speeding up with even more velocity. Now we've paid off our bad debts. Woohoo! We did it. Yeah, celebrate. Except for don't celebrate too long, because even though those are paid off, they still cost money. Your house is still technically a liability, even if you don't have a mortgage on it. You got maintenance, insurance, and taxes. So still several $1,000s a year to own a free and clear house. Same thing with the car. You got your tires, your brakes, your oil changes, your belts. It's still several $100s a year to own a car. And then you got your insurance, you're over $1,000. So these things are still sucking money out of us, even though we paid them off. So we need a solution for that. So let's take it to the next level. Do you remember? Remember I told you to remember? The house. There's a strategy. Here's how it plays in. So Sarah just paid off her house. She now has a $200,000 HELOC, a home equity line of credit. Now we talked about lines, so we get how lines work now. The home equity line of credit will allow us to go make 10 $20,000 down payments and buy 10 of these houses. Now that's the same idea on the kind of house I bought for $200 out of pocket. Normally they're about $10,000 because you got to catch them up on payments. You got some closing costs. You got some maintenance and whatever. About $10,000. Let's go on the conservative side and say it's $20,000. So we're going to buy 10 of these, $20,000 out of pocket to buy them. Now they're all rental properties. We're not going to buy them unless we can cash flow. So there's another $400 per. And you got to remember that we also now have 10 more mortgages. We took over someone else's mortgage on this. So we now also owe $1 million in mortgages. Now, if we take the cash flow from these properties and pay it towards the HELOC, we include the interest on the HELOC, this house, the HELOC will be paid from 200 down to 0 in 25 months. So 2 years. This is just math. We're following the math here. So now I told you we have 10 rentals, 100,000 each. That means we're at $1 million in debt. What are we going to do with this line? Check this out. Using the HELOC now, and the same job and the same expenses, when we direct it towards the first rental property, we will have this thing paid off in 13 and a half months. The first rental property, free and clear in 13 and a half months. So now we no longer have a mortgage payment. So that 800 goes onto the velocity account that speeds everything up. So when we direct that to the next rental property, that thing is paid off in 11 and a half months. No more mortgage payment. So that 800 gets captured, and we do it to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And inside of 9 years, all of our rental properties plus our bad debts are paid off. And now we're getting cash flow. Depending on where you're at in the country, Some houses you can cash flow $1,000 a month. Some are $3,000 a month. So if you got 10 of them, it depends on where you're at, how much money you're going to be making. But this is on now a consistent basis. When one goes empty, you got 9 more to make up for it. You put one in, and then the next one goes empty. And you just keep playing this game of supplying housing. The IRS will let you keep most of your money if you supply jobs, food, or housing to the economy. Well, here you are supplying housing, potentially jobs, and for some of you, depending on what kind of property you're buying, you might even be supplying food. Now, one of our students, Dane Clark, scared about investing, but knew that it would lead to a life of prosperity. He was making $13.50 an hour at his job, hating it. And his wife was like, dude, do we have to live in this crappy basement our whole lives? He decided to attend one of our meetings. He saw the workshop. He said, Michael, I don't have the money for the program. What do I do? He went to get funded online. He got $30,000 at 0% interest. He paid for the education. He also, like in the example, paid off his car, used the cash flow, redirected that back to his line, which was 0%, paid it off in 10 months. Well, if he paid it off in 10 months and it was 0% interest, how many pennies did it cost him? It cost him 0 pennies. He used the bank's money, which he got for free because it's 0%, paid it off, did a transaction, did his velocity banking, paid everything off. Boom. I interviewed someone that enrolled right after him. His name is Connor, did the same thing. Now, Connor's been in for 4 years. He's on his 13th deal. And because he's using the credit card game this way against the banks, he says in 3 years, he is still yet to pay a single penny of interest to a bank using this strategy. Now, that's his unique situation. When I came in, I had a 500 credit score, and I thought credit cards were fire, so I didn't touch them. Now, after learning this, I have $200,000 in lines, and I use them to make me money. So it all depends on your mindset. Some of you, you just got this little tip of the iceberg in your scope, and you go, oh, I understand everything now. Be careful. Be careful. You got to have an open mind because there's more to it. And if you can't see what's underneath too, you might hurt yourself. So we're going to give you this clear vision of what it takes to build wealth in this country. Between our instructors, there are tens of thousands of deals done and billions of dollars worth of real estate done. We know what we're doing. We've been through it all. We've seen it all. People got a 35-year history track record of doing this stuff. So that's what we're saying. At this point, you can join. I know some people are thinking, oh my goodness, I have to pay to play. And other people going, hey, this makes sense. It's a couple bucks and I'm in and I'm out. If you put your essentials course on a credit card tonight, it could cost you anywhere from $10 to $30 a month. Not $3,000 or not $2,000, but $10 to $30 a month. And you use this velocity banking strategy and pay it off. But some of you are still like, but Michael, it's 20 grand. I know. That's how much I was making at my job all year. I had to do about 2,000 oil changes to make 20 grand at Jiffy Lube. That's what they paid me. And then I come to this workshop and I'm sitting there and they go, all right, Michael, it's 20 grand to learn how to do this. And I go, I don't have any of it. I spent it all. Then they showed me, all right, there's alternative funding sources. So I ended up using my girlfriend's mom's retirement account. Well, she's now my mother-in-law, but at the time she was just girlfriend's mom. And I showed her this and I said, I need 20 grand. And she said, yeah, me too. See you later. And I went, no, but I need 20 grand for this program. She said, no. And I said, no, but seriously, take a look at this. And then she was finally like, oh, I need this too. She had a good government job, but she was stuck in the rat race just at a higher level. So now we've done some deals together. She's taken control of her retirement account. So I didn't have the money up front, but I figured it out. Now we have banks. We got billing. You can make a $117 a month payment and get access to the training. You got options. But whoever invited you here is going to call you. So it's your turn. Take the call, get involved. Take the call, get involved. Where are you at? Some of you need to be taking the credit classes right away. Some of you need to be taking retirement classes right away. Some of you need to be taking those tax or those legal classes right away because there's something staring you in the face. Some of you have deals on your table and you don't know what to do with them, and you got to jump into those classes right away. Everybody's got a pressing need. So here's what we're going to do now. We are wrapping up for the night. You guys have been an amazing audience. I think I'll bring you along for the next one. What I'm going to invite you to do now is join our private Facebook group, because there's some more videos inside there for you to take advantage of, as well as my book, The Velocity Banking Calculator, and a 3-phase plan to show you how, with your busy adult lifestyle, you could be making money with us, doing deals inside of potentially 90 days for some of you longer. Like I shared my experience, it took me 9 months. So the private Facebook group is called Real Estate Investors United. Go ahead and join that. Request access. We'll let you in. Or the person who invited you here will send you an invitation to that as well. And then you will also be able to walk through our Real Deal tours, see the plan, get the calculator, get the book. The link is in the chat if you just want to click on that. And then it's basically time for you to take some action. Get a test drive going on, see what else. And if you don't have Facebook, then I'm going to send you to teamelevateusa.com. I'm going to show you that real quick. teamelevateusa.com. It's right here. Let me just share my screen. teamelevateusa.com. Everyone can go to this too. Anyone can come to this. If you want to come check out our house tour next week. See, so you were with me right here on the Pillars of Wealth. So you come back next week for the follow-up. Or if you would like to schedule a strategy session with me, Richard, or Ryan, we'll happily take calls. Just come in here and grab a time slot. I think Richard wants to be called on Friday. Let's see if he cleaned up his schedule. Oh, yeah. You can schedule a call with him on Friday. Just kidding. I need to make fun of him. I went and cleaned up my schedule. I'm ready for Friday. You cannot book a call with me on Friday. Take a look at that. Or next Tuesday. I'm busy that day. And you know what? I might even be busy on Wednesday. But grab a time slot and let's mastermind. Show up on time, please. And it says 15. We might go longer. Depends on who you are. Well, what kind of strategy sessions we need to go through. But we're here to help support. The more open and honest you are, the more we can help. Then in here you can learn more about our study groups in English and in Spanish. If you have not watched the new student onboarding class, you need to come and watch this right away. I know some of you are brand new. We also have our Super Saturday and intensives, which we just did this month. Both of those were awesome. So stay tuned for next month. I told you we got our daily support calls. We talk business for the first hour. Then we talk real estate. And then we do our daily Zoom ups. And those will be resuming next year. You can go catch our playlist of those. Click on any of these links to join them. And then here's where I want to end, is on gratitude. I am so grateful for Alan and Anna and Bill and Brandon and Carol and Connor and all these people here, Dane and Dean and Diana and Esther, everyone here on the team who shows up early. They come to other events. They stay late. They're in the planning phase. They're helping run the other Zoom rooms. They're making sure, the guy who made this website volunteered to make this website work. No one paid him to do it. And then the people who open up these Zoom rooms, the people running other things behind the scenes, our stuff throughout the week, supporting that. All these people, they're incredible. Something happened for them inside this program that made them want to give of their time, their most valuable resource, and to help make sure that you have an amazing experience here with us. So I want to give them a big thank you. I appreciate their work and their creativity and their aspirations for making this an amazing learning environment. And with that, I'm going to encourage you guys to get back with the person that invited you here, get the links to our house tours, to the workshops, to the strategy sessions, and move forward. Take that test drive and really see what we're made of. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at what you get from this. Now, real quick, before we share, we wrap up, I do want a few people to come out and share. I'm going to have Mike, Keely, and Esther, and Wanda. Let's just do a quick roundtable discussion real quick. Let me bring it out here. We got Wanda and we got Mike. What's up, Wanda? And we got Esther and we got Keely. And real quick, if I could just get you folks to come out and just share what made you decide to get involved with Renatus. Where were you before? Why did you join? And a win that's happened since joining. So we'll start with Wanda. We'll go to Esther, Mike, and we'll end on Keely.
Thank you, Michael, for the opportunity. I personally was tired of being tired. I was working, paycheck to paycheck, trading hours for dollars all the time. And even though I went to school, I have 2 master's degrees, have a PhD, every time in my jobs, I hit the glass ceiling and I couldn't go forward. So I really wanted to retire. And some of my friends have been doing real estate and they do very well with real estate. One of them told me that I needed to get an education. And I started going to the different seminars with the gurus coming to town, and I couldn't afford it. I tried on my own. It doesn't work doing it on my own. And then I finally found a coworker who told me about this excellent community. I came to a meeting like this one tonight, and I was just ready to jump in because this is what I wanted to do. And I started November 2016. By March 2017, I lost my job and I started to use the wealth cycle with Renatus, and I made 6-figure income in 8 months. And since then, I jumped into the education and everything, and I have been in 21 transactions. I have a short-term rental, I have fix and flip, and a buy and hold.
Way
It's
cool.
awesome.
So you had a career, you hit the glass ceiling, you decided to pivot to real estate. Before the money from real estate starts coming in, they fire you.
Yes.
And so you use the Earn While You Learn program to replace your income so that you could get into more deals.
Correct.
And now you've done over 20. Congratulations.
Yes. And my life had changed. Before COVID, I traveled to 10 different countries the year before. So,
right. So now you get the lifestyle, the freedom,
yes.
and you get to the laptop lifestyle. But
Correct.
this is what it's all about. It's having that freedom, right? So thank you, Wanda, for coming out here and sharing, and then also supporting new people. For those of you who don't know, folks, Wanda let us tour her fix and flip about 3 weeks ago, and gave our guests a really good experience, a good learning environment. So thank you, Wanda.
Thank you.
Yeah, Esther. All right, come out here and share with the folks your story.
So thank you, Michael. So my story started out kind of similar to a lot of people. You're told to go to school, get good grades, get the good job, and then life will just magically just all work out. Well, so I kind of followed those steps, except for the good grades. I didn't do so well in school, but I still got the good job and earning 6 figures. And I thought, okay, life can't get any better. Well, and I found myself single after 33 years of marriage. Had 2 mortgages, 2 college tuitions still to pay, lost half my net worth, and 1 income. And I'm in my 50s. And I thought, okay, I have a problem. I don't know how to fix this. So when I first was introduced to Renatus, my only goal was to pay off my mortgage very quickly. And so I came and I'm like, okay, I want to learn this velocity banking thing. And then my mind was blown when I came to a introduction very similar to this. And I thought, I don't know what I don't know. I am a financial nincompoop, so I got to learn this. So I jumped in head first, forgot to check if there was water, but luckily there was water. And so now, little over 2.5 years in, I have done so many different strategies. It's amazing. I've started to do the velocity banking. I self-directed my IRA. I purchased 2 rental properties with that, have a third rental property, and then just a few months ago got into being a private lender on a fix and flip. So if you told me 2.5 years ago this is what I would be doing, I would have said, I don't think so, but here I am.
Here you are and doing it. And you've created a support system around you so you can do deals around the country. And that's impressive. So your future is looking bright, even though, life threw you a curveball and you just took a step, you dodged that, and then you keep stepping. So we're really proud of you.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah. All right, Rockstar. Now let's head down to Mike. Now you're down on my screen, but you're across the country. Where are you at, Mike, and what are you working on?
I'm in Denver and Boulder, Colorado. And first off, I'm so inspired by everybody in this community. You guys breathe life into me. So that's part of the reason why I stay going towards this and working at this. But I started off as I'm an artist. I still am an artist, but I was also an educator, like a teacher. And, usually with teachers, they teach stuff that they're not actually doing. And, I found myself kind of getting to that trap, teaching stuff that I don't necessarily know about, or if I'm actually applying that. And also I was like a know-it-all. And, so coming up against that, and then, actually taking an examination on my life, I was still just earning just enough to not pay everything, pay all my bills, just enough to feed the kids. I got 4 kids, and, I had to change that. So I started to humble myself and get rid of the know-it-all attitude and become coachable. And, that was 4 years ago when I found this education in the community, and I could really embrace that path. And, since then I've learned so much and been able to apply so much. I have, now I do save for the family, and I'm not just earning not enough. I have reserves all over the place. I don't even know if they're all over the place. And, I have short-term rentals, and earned like over, when I first found this, I earned $14,000 that year being a teacher, because I'm an artist teacher, not just a regular teacher. So I was earning even less than teachers get. And, just showing my commitment to the process, people like you, Michael, and others in the community really supported me. And, I've been able to turn it around a lot. In the last like 16 months, I've quadrupled what I made then, and, more than quadrupled, $14,000. And yeah, this is only the beginning too. We got a lot of stuff going on. Michael, you got that land out there in Tennessee. That's part of my dream. So our dreams are starting to mesh and become a reality, and it's exciting.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. I can't say enough. Infinite thank yous.
Wait, man, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you showed up. I remember when we first met, and you were kind of like, I don't know about this, with this whole money thing. I'm like, look, you don't have to sell your soul to do this. In fact, you gotta take care of people, and you gotta put people first if you're really gonna make some money here. And then that's when Mike was like, oh, that's what I've been looking for: people-centered profits.
Now I'm on a mission.
Now we're on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
We fixed the credit. We turned things around. We're acquiring assets. We're living the dream, quadrupling our income. That's not necessarily easy to do with a wife and 4 kids and juggling careers and all that, but you made it work, and you're on that path, man. So keep up the great work. And we got one more story for tonight, and then we will wrap it up for the evening. Coming to us live from the Arizona team. Hello, Keely. What's up? How are you?
Hey there. I'm doing really well. Thank you. Great presentation tonight. So I have been working with this group for a couple of years now, and it's been incredibly life-changing. One of the biggest things that I feel I've taken from working with this group is personal development. I had no idea how much my limiting beliefs and fears were holding me back. And so, it's not just real estate, it's not just financial literacy. There's a lot of mindset training here too that's really, really, really important. And Michael here is a good friend of mine. I've known him for about 13 years, and just kind of watched him as he got involved with this group. And I watched him transform from where he was to where he is now. And I wanted to get involved. I wanted to know what he was doing. I actually didn't have any interest, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't have any interest in business ownership or real estate investing. I was in banking for about 6 years and never learned about velocity banking, but I was selling HELOCs left and right. And because of this community, because of this education and the people involved, I have been able to complete a fix and flip that brought in over $40,000 of net profit. I used none of my own money or credit to get into that deal. And I also helped out a family member in need, which was a really incredible win-win scenario that we created, which is all we do, is create win-win situations. So with that being said, I was able to walk away from my job, and now I am focused on building my rental portfolio so that I can create passive income. And it's so exciting. I wake up every day just excited for what I get to do every day. So thank you so much for bringing me on, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, how they have this phrase in the world around, you know, your friends are the people that know all about you and still like you. Well, that was Keely. She knew all about the mess I was in. And then she watched me change, and I said, you know what, I can't keep this a secret. In fact, I probably got like 15 or 20 friends from my old life into this, where we're being responsible, where we're taking, you know, other people are saying we're adulting hard, everybody. That's what that's what this is about. So taking it on, making these changes, following a proven system, and linking arms with hardworking, honest people. That's what it's all about. So thanks again, Skylar, for opening up the room for us today and running some behind the scenes interface. Appreciate all of you for showing up. You know, we got the other Zoom rooms who are running right now, so I'm sure they're having a ton of fun. And for those of you who are guests tonight, get back with the person who invited you here. Give them the professional courtesy. Let them know what you like best about what you saw. And if you'd like to take the test drives, schedule a strategy session, take a behind the scenes tour. We're an open book, and there's, you know, questions you have that we have the answers to. So everyone, congratulations. Have a fantastic, safe holiday weekend. Appreciate you all for being here, and we will see you on the next one. Have a great night, everyone.